Hey everyone, my name is Braden Sigua and I'm a DJ here at KXSU, and we're here with Marlon Basco, Director of Elections for SGSU.
Hi, I'm Marlon Basco, Director of Elections for SGSU, and today we will be interviewing candidates for the 2017-2018 school year. So here you get to kind of know their story, know what they're about, and get to know them a little bit.
It's gonna be sweet. Cut. Go!
Jazz hands.
Wait, do that.
Also, next week is our voting period. Voting starts May 3rd at 7 a.m. So be on the lookout for that email from SGSU, and that's when voting will begin.
Sweet. Now we're going to get into some questions, but before we do that, let's go down the aisle. We have three lovely candidates here. So candidates, please introduce yourself with your name, your major, and the position you are running for.
Hi, I'm Justin Bindel. I'm a political science major, writing studies minor as well, and I'm running for executive vice president.
Very nice.
I'm Colleen Cronnlley. I'm a freshman international studies major with a minor in international business, and I'm running for at-large rep.
What's up, everyone? My name's Gabriel Narvaez. You can call me Gabe. I'm a sociology major, and I'm running for non-traditional rep.
Sweet. All right. Thank you three very much. Now it's time to get into the questions. Now our first question is a little bit of a softball, not a softball, but it's just going to get us a little bit warmed up. So if we could go down the line in the order that we just had, and please talk to us about what your future career goals are.
Future career, yeah. So like I said, I'm a political science major. I hope to go into law school, fingers crossed, you know. Once I get law underneath my belt, enough years of practicing, I really hope to be a politician. I'm from Texas, as not a lot of people know, or a lot of people do know, if you can see my boots. And I have wild dreams of coming back to Texas and turning it blue. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
Oh yeah, it is. Everyone laughs at me every time I say that, but I'm keeping strong.
Big state, big dreams. I like it. All right. Next.
So I also plan to go to law school, but with very different ambitions. Eventually, I want to work in an embassy as a foreign service officer, diplomat sort of thing. Right now, I'm working on studying Arabic and different languages to try and make that happen.
Very cool.
All right, at the current moment, I'm just trying not to use profanity right now because they told me if I do, I'll have to leave. So, but I want to go into, I'm either going to go into law school or I'm going to do counseling and education, so in the College of Education, one of the two.
And what do you like about those, Gabe?
Well, I like, with a law degree, I'll be able to have my voice heard. People are going to take me seriously, so I'll be able to make change on a big level. On the opposite end, if I do counseling and education, I'll be able to help the individual, you know. And I think I can do a lot, either one of those.
Awesome. Thank you. And now question 2 with Marlon.
All right, our next question is, if elected, what specifically will you do for the student body and your constituents? Justin?
It's a great question. If elected, I'm running a strict campaign off of accountability for representatives and executive officers alike. I am actually one of the only students, just merely from the public, that have gone to these representative assemblies, and I definitely want the student body to know the presence of student government, because they're all getting, every representative and executive is getting a scholarship off of the work they do, and if students, and of all the people that I've talked to, they ask me, what does student government do? And if they're getting paid through our tuition, I definitely think that people should know what they're doing. And yeah, so I'm hoping to hold all representatives accountable for their actions and their work. And I think every student's voice needs to be heard on a maximum level.
Very nice.
One of my favorite things about Seattle University is both the unity and the diversity that's on this campus. So I want to do as much as I can to foster that, whether it's like through clubs, communicating with students, connecting people with each other. I just want to do whatever I can to make those two things really stand out, because that's what stood out to me. And I think that if those go away, then Seattle University loses what makes it this like great university.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. So, actually, I
Oh,
forgot.
if elected, what specifically will you do for the student body and your constituents?
All right. So, if I'm elected, I'm going to be representing students that are 25 or older, veterans, or students that are parents. So specifically, I would focus on those three entities within Seattle University. I know that the veteran community here, they're working, putting together a lot of events, and they really want to establish, some kind of solid foundation for these future students to work off of. I know that right now, students that are parents don't have priority registration, and so that's something that I really am adamant about, and so I'm working towards establishing that. And then just anybody who's, a non-traditional student that's 25 or older, it's a little bit harder for us, to relate to the younger generation. And so I think, like some of the other people running have said, relating and building that community is really essential, in moving forward.
Thank you.
All right, good answers to the three of you. Now, this third question that we're going to come up with is a little bit harder, but I think it's a more revealing question, so please be as honest as possible. The question is, what is your weakest attribute as a leader, and how will you work to improve that?
Well, as a leader in student government, you can probably tell just by how I'm presenting myself, I tend to take it very seriously, and I realize this is a undergraduate student government, but like I said, I'm hoping to go into politics and be a lawyer, an aspiring lawyer one day. And I mean, a lot of people may look at me and think, oh, this guy takes himself too seriously, but it's just kind of how, like, it's just the way that I want to go about approaching student government, and I feel as though if one person does take it very seriously, we can go really far with this organization.
And I'm going to push you a little bit more on this question, because I've also been in a scenario where I've been running for an elected position, and I took it too seriously, and because of that, I didn't necessarily have the respect of my constituents, and that led to me actually losing the race, and I wasn't able to be an effective representative of the students. If this were to be an issue, how do you think you would respond to it?
So is the question, if me taking myself too seriously, will it be a problem towards constituents coming in?
Yeah, I think that there's a balance between being serious and being approachable.
Absolutely.
How do you think that you can manage this if you think you're leaning one way?
I think a lot of the kind of authority aspect of this is really just making sure that the representatives are being accountable, or that I'm holding the representatives accountable, like I said before. But at the same time, we like an open door policy for sure, and I want all of my constituents, everyone in the student body, to feel comfortable when walking through the SGSU doors, because that's, in the end, that's our goal, is so we can definitely get every single voice heard, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
So I think my weakness is, it's not going to sound like a weakness at first, but I swear it is. Like taking on too much. It's definitely a problem that I had throughout high school, just taking on way too many activities, too many sports, too much going on. And I think to balance that or attack that, this past year I decided to take a step back from all of my everything, decided not to get involved in anything, just to like see how I would do with it. And it's been really nice. It's been a learning experience. And so now I feel like just being in college has matured me enough to know how to manage my time and not take on too much and to ask for help. So that's why I decided that it was probably about time that I was ready to run for office.
All right, thank you.
All right. So people have told me that my greatest weakness is also my greatest strength, in that I don't see boundaries. I don't see limits. And so part of that allows me to move and accomplish these things that I normally wouldn't be able to. And at the same time, just like this young lady next to me said, is that sometimes that, I just take on these just enormous tasks, but I'm just determined, you know what I mean? And so although it is a weakness, I'll use that to my benefit.
Now, while you can see that as one of your greater strengths, do you also think you can be reasonable when prioritizing goals that you think are of importance?
Absolutely, and I think that's where taking the input of my constituents comes into play, because this isn't about me. This is about representing the student body, you know, and particularly veterans, students over 25, and student parents. And so when I'm seeking out these changes or these goals, those are the voices that I need to be hearing, and I just need to echo that in my position.
All right, thank you. Next question from Marlon.
All right, guys. This next question is kind of just low, easy kind of question. So, where is your favorite place to study on campus, and what do you like to snack on while you study in your favorite place to study?
Yeah.
Austin?
I'm not sure if any of you have been, this is very specific, but to the bistro on a Friday afternoon is usually when they start playing the 80s jams. It's either 80s jams or 2000s pop hits, like good old fashioned like Tayo Cruz, like that kind of like middle school music.
Yeah.
It may not be the best place to study because I'm focusing so much on the music. But yeah, but honestly, it's a great experience just because I'm studying for political science class, or maybe trying to work on improving my writing, and I can also just really take myself out of the situation and just enjoy what I'm listening to. And on top of that, the food or the snack, it's definitely going to be the bistro mac and cheese.
Pretty good.
I mean, it does have some bad days, but the majority of the time, it's great, and you can't go wrong with it.
Shout out to the bistro.
Yeah, so my favorite place to study, I'm like, my favorite place in the world is my bed. Like, one time I was doing this activity and I gave up my bed before I gave up my best friend. So like I did that backwards. I gave up my friend before I gave up my bed. So like my bed is my favorite place. So I like to study in my bed, which worked out really nice here because I live on 12 of Camp facing city side. So I have like this fantastic view, especially at night, of like the skyline and the sound. And it's like super peaceful. And it's just like the best place ever. I don't know how productive I am because sometimes if it's like, especially at night, I just like fall asleep, which is, you know, not the best for studying, but it's always really pleasant. And my favorite snack is, I don't know if anybody here's ever had the bark thins from the Cave, the pretzel ones. They're like addictive. I've actually like had to cut myself off because they're just so good.
All right. So you mean like favorite place to study on campus or just anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere. We'll do anywhere.
All right. So for me, I would say when I want to say it's my favorite, it's because that's where I'm most productive at. And so I would say also it would be at home, and especially I have a 6-year-old son also, and so when he's asleep, either real early in the morning, or late at night, and I just I can tell he's just peaceful, and I just don't have any worries, and I can really get down on my homework, and so that'd be my all-time favorite spot. On campus, I'm not going to tell you because then everyone's going to go there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you three very much. Now, we're going to take a quick break and introduce you to some more candidates after the break. But before we do that, can you please one last time just say your name and the position you're running for? And if you could say one sentence to your constituents, what would it be?
Okay, yeah, my name's Justin Bindel. I'm running for Executive Vice President. And if I could say one sentence, let your voice be heard.
Awesome.
I'm Colleen Cronnlley. I'm running for at-large rep. If I could say one thing is that I'm willing to work as hard as I possibly can, and I'm really passionate about the work that I do.
My name's Gabriel Narvaez. You can call me Gabe. I would say, vote for me and smash that like button.
Okay, Gabe, what
Can I change my answer?
What
position you're running for?
Oh, come on, man. Non-traditional representative.
All right, well, we got to let the people know. All right, thank you three very much, and we'll be back right after this short break. Stay tuned to KXSU.
First off, we'll go down the line. Want to introduce yourself, your major, what position you're running for, and yeah.
Alright. So I'm Tanish Bhojwani. I'm a junior majoring in finance, and I'm seeking office for VP of Finance.
My name is Peter Hoang. I'm a first-year student, nursing major with a Spanish minor, and I'm seeking office for at-large representative.
Hello, my name is Aminada. I am a junior. I'm majoring in finance and management with a minor in international business, and I am running for VP of Finance.
Awesome, thank you everyone. So our first question is one that's not necessarily directed towards your position that you're running for, but we want to know, what are your future career goals?
So right after graduation, I'm going to go back to the island of Guam, where I initially grew up. I wasn't born there, I was born in India, but in Guam, and I want to, since I'm a finance major, I want to go back and be part of a business, small business over there, but on the side also, just as a hobby or something I'm passionate about, work with the public school system and try to work on tutoring after college.
Very cool.
Yeah, so as a nursing major, also pursuing a Spanish minor, that gives me a lot of options as to what I can do in the future. But for the most part right now, I would love to be a family nurse practitioner just because I like working with families. I also like working with kids as well. And it just seems like a great opportunity to be able to help patients get better and see them on their path to recovery. For me personally, in high school and middle school, I saw a lot of really close loved ones pass away at a young age, and I wasn't able to help them out in any sort of way. So in the future, I definitely would love to give back to communities and families in that sort of way.
And for me, with my future career goals, I do plan with my major is to be, one, try out the corporate setting of finance, so be a financial analyst and see how corporations do well with their evaluation. I do have another side where I also want to use my time after graduation, even after getting an MBA, is to give back to the community, especially coming from a background where I'm a first generation student and I shared experience not only with my own family, with other families outside, that finance is a very important aspect of having a future here in the United States. So that's something I want to give back, is giving the right financial tools and continue to educate not only my family and myself for future, but also to spread that knowledge and people to be well informed.
Thank you very much. Marlon with the second question.
All right, thank you guys. So if elected, what specifically will you do for the student body and your constituents?
That's a great question. So first of all, just a little background. So I was part of SGSU as a first-year student, as freshman representative, and then I really wanted to go on and be the VP of Finance. Go for the election, but I thought I needed some time, some more experience, and that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years. I've been I've been a treasurer for 2 clubs, the 2 cultural clubs on campus, to get the experience of the other side, where I'm going in and I'm asking for, hey, can I get this money or funding for this event we're trying to throw? So with all of that experience that I've gained in the past 3 years, I really want to make it easier for the VP of Finance side of SGSU, to make it easier for students, new students, or just transitioning officers and stuff, to make it easier for them to host events. I was just talking to Will Cronnlley, he's the one recording right now, about how he's a film studies major and how this film club that he's part of, and how it's really helping him connect everyone together who's in that studies. So just seeing these examples, I think clubs are very important. So I really one thing I want to do is have an orientation in the beginning of the year, the school year, to make it easier for everyone to come in, all of the VP of Finances, and get the resources what they want. Because sometimes it's I don't have to wait 2 months, or I don't have to sink into SGSU for 2 months. By the time they're already synced into their positions, I want to be there on the first week and be hey, if any of you all need any help, I'm there for them. So that's just a small goal, but at the same time, just being a leader in SGSU, I want to advocate for all of the voices, and a club is a position that clubs give us opportunities, but there's a lot more to do. So I don't want to take too much time over here, but I see a lot of aspects with this one position, and these are just a few goals I want to have right now. Thank you.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, so running for at-large representative, I understand that my constituencies group is essentially everyone on this campus. And talking to Evelyn Chow and Halima right now, who are the 2 at-large representatives, I know they're doing a lot of great work around the Gender Justice Center on campus, and I've been in conversation with them. And so if that moves forward, that's one project I definitely would love to take on next year with the help of student government and all my constituency. is to provide a space where women, non-gender binary folks, they feel included, because I know a lot of institutions right now, they have women's centers, but that is pretty exclusive language, and here at CIU we always trying to strive and include everyone in our conversations. So definitely would love to continue work on that. At the same time, I know that transfer students, commuter students, students who live off campus, a lot of times they don't necessarily know or are plugged in with what is happening on campus due to just proximity or simply because they don't have a set like support group coming into campus. And so I definitely would love to work with our representatives, such as the transfer representative, the community representative, just to ensure that every student here feels welcome and at home and knows what resources are available to them, like for example non-traditional students or even veterans as well. So those are just kind of some of the events I would like to, and events and projects I would like to work on. Also dive into more of like CIU sexual assault policy and make it more accessible to students. I know for me as a first year rep, looking over that policy in committee meetings, it can be a little bit confusing. And so trying to break it down and make it easier for students and for faculty to understand is a big goal of mine as well.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
For me, running for this position, a couple things does come to mind. The first one is that sitting as an SGSU representative already and sitting in the club committee, as a finance committee meeting, I understand that we're like the number one access point for clubs to do their programming and provide events that are all open all to campus and everything. I think one of the things I want to do is continue that openness and continue that welcoming environment for clubs to be able to host programs and have everyone to be invited and participate and understand like some of the legacy clubs we have on campus. Even clubs are starting brand new and they have a lot to offer, not just like come to enjoy with your friend, but there's cultural meanings behind it. There's some people unity that put 100% in it and be able to entertain and give us an experience that is you can't get anywhere else. Another aspect of that is also being in this position is not just all about the money for me. Sometimes it's always thinking about what do the students want? What information do they need in order for them to be well informed? What are decisions happening with their tuition dollars? What is going on with the budget? Things like that are questions that students always ask, but feel like sometimes they don't get 100% answer than what they need. And I feel like the answer should be provided for them, and I feel like the right outlet and trying to get that information straight to them so they can be well informed and be also comfortable here at Seattle University rather than being in doubt or saying, not too sure what's going on, especially with the budget or like where's my tuition dollars going, how it's being spent. So yeah.
Sweet, thank you three very much. Now the third question that we have for you is a little bit harder hitting, but I think it's one of the more revealing questions, so please be as honest as possible. The question is, what is your weakest attribute as a leader, and what are you planning on doing to improve upon that?
Right. So I think this is something I had in the beginning of the year as first year student when I came in here, and I've been definitely working on it, and it's spreading myself too thin. I think that's something that a lot of college students go through because there's so many opportunities out there, so many things you can do, and for just for the college part of it, you usually have 4 years, but a lot of students have 5-6 years too. But there's a limited amount of time you get to do things you want to do in college, but there's an opportunity out there too. So for me, when I first came here from the island of Guam, I was like 2,000 miles away or something. So I think I was getting into everything, but then I started to realize, I was spreading myself thin. So from that time on, I think it's still a weakness, but I've been working on it, and it's been improving ever since, because academics is important too, but at the same time, everything you commit to, it's not okay to commit to everything as much as you want to. It's important to take out the key factors and the main areas you really want to focus on really matter to you, and just focusing on them. So it's improvement, but I still think it's a weakness, and it can definitely improve. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for me personally, I think as a leader, and I saw this at iLead when I went to the workshop entitled Fantastic Failures and Where to Find Them. For me personally as a leader, I think one of the most difficult things for me is to call myself out or hold myself accountable when, for example, if I'm hosting an event such as the Youth Homelessness Panel, holding myself accountable and saying where I went wrong. I guess for me, like growing up, a lot of times people give me praise and tell me good things, but they didn't necessarily tell me how I could improve. And so going through middle school and going through parts of high school, I was very scared of criticism and not really good at taking criticism, and very scared to hear what people think or what I think of what I'm doing. And so I think as a leader, it's really important, yes, to celebrate what we accomplish and what we do, not just in student government, but just as individuals. But at the same time, also be very aware that we also, as leaders, we should always be striving to be better and not be complacent with where we're at. And so for me moving forward, I definitely want to be able to do a better job of calling myself out in a positive way, so I can be constructive and become better at what I'm doing, not just in student government, but as a student, which is my #1 priority. And also just be knowing and aware that when people call me out or are asking me to fix something, it's not because they dislike what I'm doing, but it's because they're coming from a place of love and compassion and want me to become a better person. So working on that is a big priority for me moving forward.
Next, thank you, Peter.
Mine's actually a little bit similar to Peter's as well. So mine's two things that are interconnected for me is when I'm calling myself out when I need to, and two, that always remember you're never alone. Because for me, from a standpoint of leadership, is sometimes like you're not always leading on your own, you're leading with others. And sometimes you may think that there's too much to handle, but you always forget that there's a support group right behind you. And if you don't have one, you always want to create one as well. Knowing that there's someone who's able to catch you before you fall down and break. Or making sure that there's someone out there who thinks that you need to take a break, or you're doing too much, so that you need to like stop and breathe for a second and make sure that everything is on the right track. And asking for help and when you need it, because don't be ashamed of asking for help. And I think like sometimes, for me, that's a little bit of a cultural background for me. It's like asking for help, it's like sometimes implemented like a sign of weakness, but no, it's not really a sign of weakness, but rather it's something that it's acknowledging that you can't do this on your own. You're not like a superwoman. You're just like one human being, and you can do so much with your ability. Like if you delegate the task to someone else, they probably have a way better idea than what you can come up with, and that can be like whether it's in a group project, in a presentation, is creating an event. And because you ask for that help and reach out for that and have their input and ideas, I feel like that would create more success for that as well. So that's the two weaknesses I have.
Thanks, you three. And now the final question from Marlon.
All right, this one's a sort of fun one. So where is your favorite place to study on campus, and what is your favorite snack to snack on while you study in your favorite place on campus?
Okay. That's a good question. A good, fun question. So I actually I don't have a favorite spot usually, because I like to go to different places, and because you meet different groups of people in every area. But like obviously library, everyone's there. But like when you're in Piggott, it's mainly business students. But two spots would be, first of all, law school. I'm glad I don't have to carry those big books all the time. But on a serious side, when I see those law students carrying those books, it really inspires me to see they're working hard to make a change, and I can do that too. But at the same time, I'm glad I don't have to carry those books. And then just the library, you don't get to talk to everyone all the time, but even just a hi and stuff. And I don't like to study alone, so it's always a good point. Yeah, thanks.
Favorite snack with that?
Favorite snack, teriyaki chicken bowl from Bottom Line. It's better than the Cave.
The sauce is
The
different.
sauce is different, yeah. I'm sorry, Cave, but yeah. Alright, thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I usually study in two settings. I like to study in groups, or I like to study alone. So when I study in groups, I usually go to the lobby of Bellarmine because a lot of my nursing friends, they study there. It's a very communal place. Whenever we need to take a study break, we just dance or just do random stretches and that sort of thing, which is great. So studying in groups, I study in Bell Hall, but if I need to study alone, I go up to the 4th, 5th floor of the library to get a room for myself and study in there, just pull in some nice instrumental music, that sort of thing. And favorite snack, that's really hard, but anything from the Cave, but particularly I really like the Twix ice cream bars a lot. I enjoy those. So.
I have two places to study as well. Mine's actually in Piggott, and the second floor by the couches. You can catch me over there with a box of 85 pastries that were opened up in Toccola, because I live in that area, so I was pick up some. I'm always there with a group of friends as well. My second place is after hours at the SGSU office. When the office closes, I'm in there studying as well. And actually, my treat depends on what's in the bite. I love their desserts. Oh my gosh, so amazing.
Sweet. Well, thank you three for coming in today and having these questions asked to you. Now, before we close it up, I want all of you to just say your name again and the position you're running for, and then one sentence that you'd like to say to your constituents.
So I'm Tanish Bhojwani. I'm seeking office for Vice President of Finance. And just no matter who you vote for, just vote, because all voices matter, and it's very important to get everyone to vote. Yeah, thank you.
Once again, my name is Peter Hoang. I'm seeking office for at-large representative, and if I do get the honor of being elected, I would like my constituents to see me not as someone who's higher up in power, but someone who's like on their level and listening to them and just wanting to serve as a channel for their voices.
And my name is Aminada Drame. I am running for VP of Finance. And one thing I want to let my constituents know is that I will, similar to Peter's again, I'm not going to look at you guys at above. I always believe in followership before leadership. So I always will be with you and then help you carry that voice.
Very nice, you three. And that concludes our panel for the evening. Thank you, everyone, for listening and joining us. We have a concluding statement from Director of Elections, Marlon. Marlon, go ahead.
All right, reminder, next week from May 3rd through 5th, we will have our election period, and from there you can vote on Connect SU. Voting starts on May 3rd at 7 a.m. And just don't forget to vote next week. Can't wait to see you out, and we hope you vote this year. Thank you.
Please do vote. It is incredibly important. And that concludes our panel of questions. You've been listening to KXSU, and thanks for tuning in.